Hey guys, I'm Joseph Hinson and with Hinson CPA Group, and this week I wanted to talk to you about something some folks have asked me about. Where am I losing money in my clinic and why is this happening and what can I do to fix it? So this week we're going to go over the 3 biggest profit leaks in veterinary clinics and how to fix them, maximizing profitability and financial health in your practice. Again, I'm Joseph Hinson with Hinson CPA Group, and so the first thing we're going to talk about is kind of just an introduction. Many veterinary clinics are profitable on paper, but they struggle with cash flow and profitability leaks. They have small inefficiencies that can add up to thousands of dollars in lost revenue each year. The problem is you need to be able to understand these profit leaks and implement strategic fixes that ensure long-term financial health. This can be through a variety of different areas. Some of that's going to be just a matter of, hey, this is something that we're not using software-wise. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. This is what's happening here. Let's see if we can reduce that. So profit leak number 1 is inefficient profit or pricing strategies. What are the symptoms of this? The symptoms are services are underpriced or inconsistent with the industry benchmarks. You're not charging appropriately for time-intensive procedures and or you're giving discounts or excessive unpaid consultations. So you'll kind of see over here that the impact is going to be it reduces overall profitability and undervalues clinic expertise. What can you do to fix this? One of the things you can do is conduct a pricing analysis and compare against industry benchmarks. You need to adjust pricing based on cost and time and perceived value. You also need to look at training staff to confidently communicate pricing to clients. It's never fun to communicate pricing, everyone knows it, but it's something that everyone has to be comfortable doing. In your clinic, especially those who are scheduling procedures, if they're the ones helping quote, they are a salesperson. I know that sounds weird. You're a veterinarian, they're a vet tech, they're a receptionist, they're also a salesperson. When you think about it, they're the first person, if they call in, who's the first person that they're going to talk to? They're going to talk to your receptionist to schedule an appointment. They have to be sold on doing this. They have to have the belief that you guys know what's going on. So you see here, like if your clinic price is $50, $80, $200, or $1,000, and the industry price is $70, $100, $250, or $1,200, you're underpricing yourself tremendously. Unless you're a low-cost spay and neuter, you need to make sure that your pricing is competitive within the industry. Now, this can't break down to are you rural or are you in a pretty busy area? Profit leak number 2, poor inventory management. What are the symptoms of poor inventory management? Overstocking or running out of critical supplies, high waste due to expired medications, and a lack of tracking leading to theft or loss. This stuff happens all the time. You have so much medication on hand that it expires and you're not able to actually handle what you have. So some of this goes to waste. You lose thousands of dollars here because it's expiring. A lack of tracking leading to theft or loss. If you don't have a inventory implementation process and you're not tracking this at least monthly or minimum quarterly, then there is potential someone can steal from you. And if this is a Schedule 1 drug that they're stealing, that can lead to huge fines and huge cost. The impact of this is it ties up cash and unused inventory and leads to unnecessary expenses and inefficiencies. If you have a ton of stock on hand and you're not moving very quickly, you have cash sitting in this that you need to be able to liquidate. This is not liquid cash. You can't just get it out within the next 2 to 3 days. It could take 30, 60, 90 days. And this is going to have a lot of unnecessary expenses. Like I said, what does this mean really? Well, if your inventory expires, you have to go replace it. You've now lost that. That is a huge unnecessary expense. If you're now only going in and calculating what you have once a year, you also don't know if you have enough on hand to actually service what you need. You can look for discounts, and these are some of the things you can fix. Implement automated inventory tracking software. You guys have Vetter, you guys have EasyVet, you have Cornerstone, you have Evermark. These are all-in-one practice management softwares that can provide many features to help you. As soon as it sees that you're writing a prescription for this or you're using this, it can take it out of your inventory. You just need to do a true-up period to make sure that this is accurate. Set your reorder points based on usage patterns. If you see that during the spring, you're doing a lot more flea and tick medication, make sure you start to ramp that up early based on the reorder point. And if that's a lot less in the fall and winter, to scale it back a little bit so you don't have this all on hand. And you need to conduct regular audits to prevent shrinkage and waste. No one likes to waste money. No one wants to throw away medications. Make sure what you're using actually makes sense. Profit leak number 3, inefficient appointment scheduling and workflow. Some of the symptoms here: long client wait times leading to frustration, gaps in the schedule or excessive overtime, high no-show rates affecting daily revenue. What's the impact of this? Lost revenue due to unfilled appointment slots, increased payroll costs due to inefficiencies. What can you do to fix this? Use a scheduling software to optimize appointment flow. Implement a reminder system to reduce no-shows and adjust staffing levels to match peak and slow periods. That's a lot here. Yes, I just read exactly what's on the screen. Let's talk through it a little bit. If you go to your doctor, your medical doctor, and you say, hey, I'm here, and you're waiting 30, 45 minutes, you hate it. You get infuriated having to wait. I know I do. So there's an inefficiency there. If your clients are waiting 30, 45 minutes because they've been overscheduled, you need to work on that, because that's not only going to cost you potentially customer service, but it's also going to cost you an overtime if they're staying late. If you have an appointment and your last one's supposed to be at 4, it's now 4:45, you have staff you have to pay to actually stay there. The gaps in the schedule or excessive overtime is kind of one of those areas where you don't want 30, 45 minutes multiple times a day blank. You want to make sure what you're doing makes sense and there's a good flow. You don't want too busy. You also don't want dead. Having a 15-minute appointment is very common. In 15 minutes to 20 minutes, you can see 3 to 4 folks an hour. A little bit of overlap's okay, but try to make sure you're not wasting your staff's time, because if you're wasting your staff's time, you're wasting your money. There's not a lot you can do to make that revenue up in the past, but it is definitely something you can work on in the future to see how you can fix this. So here's a little case study we put together that over something we've helped a veterinary clinic with. And the problem that we had faced with them was they were a clinic who'd been in business for about 10 years and struggling with cash flow. They were extremely profitable. They faced significant cash flow issues though. The clinic often ran into problems with paying bills on time, and the morale of the staff suffered because of delayed payroll. So here's the problem. What does that really mean? Hey, I made $100,000 last year after my expenses. Great. Why did I only have $5,000 in cash? Great question. You have some inefficiencies in your clinic. So what did we come in and do? We were able to adjust the service pricing to align with costs. We were able to implement cash flow forecasting. So what that means is we like to cash flow forecast for 12, 36, and 60 months at a time. And then we helped establish a cash reserve fund. So every time they made money, we made sure that they were putting some aside just in case something happened. That way they didn't have to feel like, oh, we don't have cash on hand, we need to dip into our typical operating fund. We implemented an inventory management system to cut waste. We made sure that we were working with a professional on this who understood the software, and what they did was come in, they had a just in time, so they knew, hey, we have 10 left. We need to make sure we get this in the next few days. And they were able to implement that and save them from having a ton of waste on the inventory side. We also helped optimize scheduling to reduce no-shows and downtime. Just the right software, especially in today's day and age where you can have a lot of AI handle the scheduling and outreach to make sure people are getting it, you can optimize this to a way that it's hands-off almost. You have it so that folks know they get a text message, they get an email, they get a call. So that's always the process. We first want to remind people through email. Then we go to text message within 24 to 48 hours before their appointment. And if they have not confirmed, we have someone who calls them the day before and said, hey, if you aren't confirming, we can't hold your appointment and we'll give it to someone else. What did this end up looking like? They were able to see a 15% increase in profitability within 6 months. They reduced their waste by $10,000 annually. And based on the surveys that we asked them to give to their employees and the clients, they saw a huge uptick in satisfaction. Folks were waiting less time. Staff didn't feel like they were just sitting there or getting sent home early, cutting into their paychecks and their livelihoods. And they were able to actually be more incentivized to come into work. So here's a few additional strategies to improve profitability. You need to make sure you regularly review financial reports with the CPA. I like monthly. We work with you quarterly, once a year. Monthly is great if you're doing a lot of growth and you need to see that what you're doing makes sense. Quarterly is phenomenal if you've been around for a while and you just, hey, I want to make sure that we see that we're on an upward trajectory. We're increasing it by 7.5 to 10% this year in profit. What do we need to do? And then you want to reduce your unnecessary overhead costs. If you're double staffed a lot of times and you don't need it, make sure you're reducing it. If you know that, hey, I typically have 3 receptionists, but really I only need 2, maybe 2.5, look at what you can do to have fewer overlap where someone's just sitting on their phone, or if you have them there, that they're calling people who are supposed to show up. Leverage technology for efficiency. You do not have to do things the way it's always been done. In today's day and age, you can digitize everything. You can have AI help format your advertisement. You can do a ton of stuff with just outreach, cold outreach, SEO, all of it. That will help you optimize and increase efficiency within your clinic. Offer preventive care plans for steady revenue streams. We've talked about this before if you watch any of my other lives on my YouTube channel or on Facebook. But if you have a preventive care plan, you're paying for it monthly, your clients are, they know they can come in and actually see you without having to stress about, well, it always costs me too much. Well, let's see what preventive care, we're going to do your vaccines, we're going to do a checkup. This is going to you're going to pay every single month. This helps with cash flow because you don't all of a sudden have everyone coming in at the same time. That's all I have for you this week. I appreciate it. Hey, if your clinic is leaking profit, let us help you identify and fix it. You can schedule a free consultation today and start improving your clinic's financial health. You can email me at joseph@hensoncpagroup.com or visit our website, hensoncpagroup.com, and click on Schedule Call Now. As always, we appreciate it, and you guys have a great rest of your afternoon.